that she has little respect for the police. So this is I think the best possible outcome is that the officer seems like he's okay, going from critical to non-critical to released. Being released the morning after, happened at 3:30 p.m. yesterday, being released on Thursday morning, man, that is lucky. If you don't believe in a higher being, somebody looking out for you, stuff like that might make you think twice about it. All right, coming up on the program, I want to tell you more about Shane Gillis, the SNL alum now, I guess. He was chosen for SNL and he was fired before he could even take the stage over at 30 Rock in New York. But now we've got a new blackface controversy. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau up in Canada it's been uncovered that he has done blackface multiple times. Multiple times. He admitted to 2, and then there's a video of a 3rd, and there's more photos coming out. This is 5 weeks before the Canadian federal elections. This should be pretty bad for Justin Trudeau, except in this case, for whatever reason, they're not calling it a blackface scandal. They're calling it something else. It's like euphemisms for blackface are happening. I wonder why. Let's explore that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Your dog is a furry member of your family, and they deserve the highest level of care. Dogtopia has award-winning daycare, boarding, and spa services. They are the safest, cleanest, and most transparent dog daycare and boarding option for you. The best part? You can check in with your dog anytime on the video stream on your phone. Dogtopia, located at Carriage Crossing. Find out more at dogtopia.com to schedule your dog's best day ever.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Grogan and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
Hey, are you pregnant and need health insurance?
Yes, I'm really in need of insurance.
Have you heard of the TennCare Presumptive Prenatal Program?
No, what is that?
It's a program where pregnant women can get 62 days of temporary Medicaid insurance coverage.
Wow, I didn't know about that. Thanks.
For more information regarding the TennCare Presumptive Prenatal Program, contact the Shelby County Health Department at 901-545-8722 or log on to shelbytnhealth.com. Funding for this was provided by the Tennessee Department of Health.
Don't miss out on the best golf tournament in the Mid-South. Join us for the 10th annual Memphis Oral School for the Deaf Golf Tournament at the beautiful Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch on Thursday, September 26th. Enjoy a hot off-the-grill lunch by Backyard Southern-style seasoning, an exciting helicopter ball drop contest, a full day of golf, and a delicious Outback Steakhouse Awards dinner with lots of prizes. Every dollar raised helps deaf children learn to listen and talk. Sponsor or register today at mosdkids.org.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
The highest hurdle most of us ever get over is getting started on doing something every day. Start with the 5-minute walk every day. Have some comfort close by bedside. Jump on your treadmill, your stationary bike, or your sidewalk. Do 5 minutes and then go take a shower and get ready for your morning.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show, streaming live on KWAMTheVoice.com.
All right, welcome back. The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. That's also the same for Facebook and Twitter, at Nation of Jake. We got another blackface scandal. I was actually on the Twitter last night scrolling, and then it started to blow up. I saw some photos of a man in some sort of Arabian Nights garb, and he was painted black, like all the way black. Now, it was a black and white photo. So, his skin was darkened. I don't know if the paint was black or just dark brown. Or I don't know if it was just blue. It could have been blue. It could have been like the genie from Aladdin. But the story that accompanied the photos is that Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister, wore brown face makeup to a party at the private school where he was teaching in the spring of 2001. All right, this is from Time Magazine, timeonline.com, time.com. Now, what stands out to me is that the folks over at Time, they're using the term brown face makeup. Other outlets are saying that he used makeup to darken his skin. I'm pretty sure that we've determined that this is called blackface. Now, I have made the distinction before. I said, yeah, blackface was specific makeup like Al Jolson blackface. Like black around the face, except around the lips and eyes was left white. And that it was largely offensive to black people, and it was racist. Now, darkening your skin to be a little bit of a shade darker, say if you were going to go as Aladdin to a costume party, I mean, highly unnecessary, but different than blackface. However, when I was making that differentiation, that distinction, I was told, no, it's blackface. Darkening your skin for any reason is blackface, and it's wrong. All right, we've seen our fair share of blackface scandals. Whether it's been in Hollywood, Sarah Silverman did blackface for a sketch on the Sarah Silverman Show some years ago, and she's had to pay for that. Ralph Northam, the governor of Virginia, if you recall this one, this guy had someone in blackface, it may have been him or a buddy of his, standing next to a guy in a KKK uniform, which might have been him or a buddy of his. He claims that, oh no, it's neither. I don't even know if I'm in those pictures. The context of that one, way worse, given the implications of having somebody in Ku Klux Klan garb in the photo. But this one, this is pretty amazing. And this didn't happen in 1985. This didn't happen in 1976. This happened in 2001. And also, Justin Trudeau has been the Prime Minister of Canada for a while now, for years. 4 or 5 years, something like that. He bust up on the scene, this super handsome, liberal, progressive guy from up in Canada, the anti-Trump. He's young, he's good looking, he's progressive. How is this just now coming out? The photograph, at least the initial photograph, has not been previously reported. The picture was taken at an Arabian Nights themed gala. It shows Trudeau, then 29-year-old son of the late former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, wearing a turban and robes with his face, neck, and hands completely darkened. The photograph appears in the 2000 to 2001 yearbook of West Point Grey Academy, a private day school where Trudeau was a teacher. He was a teacher at the time. And this happened in 2001. All right? Just for reference, I graduated from Rhodes in 2001. That was my senior year, my graduating year, my class at Rhodes. I, during my time at Rhodes, dressed up as a black guy, but I didn't do blackface. I dressed up as Reverend Run from Run DMC because I'm a big Run DMC fan. And I had my black leather jacket, I had my Adidas, I had my Kangol hat, and I had my glasses. And I looked just like Reverend Run, sans the dark skin. I figured people would just put it together. And I knew better than to paint my skin dark brown or black. I knew better in 2001. 2001 was yesterday, by the way. Yeah, sure, on paper it's 18 years. 18 years. However, in my brain, it was 2001. Also in my brain, the 90s were 5 years ago. When people say, oh, back in 1995, I was like, that was just yesterday. That was like 5 years ago. So 2001, this dude should have known better. Trudeau apologized and says, I should not have done that. I have known better and I didn't. I'm really sorry. I don't know if that's how he talks or not. In fact, here's the audio. Let's take a listen to old Trudeau. So handsome, this Trudeau, and this upsets a lot of people. He's apologizing. I deeply regret that you found the photos. It's more like it. By the way, I was in an Aladdin costume. I've seen Aladdin. I watched that movie with my kids. Aladdin isn't like full on that dark. Like he could have totally been Aladdin without the blackface. You put on an Aladdin costume, you got those big, pillowy pants and like a sash, cummerbund, some silky robes. And you got a turban on. I mean, isn't that enough? Eh? Isn't it, Justin Trudeau? Why'd you have to go with the full-on blackface? And then this guy goes full in. All right, and that's actually one of his defenses, is that, anybody who knows me knows I go overboard when it comes to costuming. That was seriously one of his defenses, saying I go overboard when it comes to costumes. But here's the thing about it. That wasn't the only time. And Justin Trudeau also said he wore blackface makeup in high school to sing Day-O, the old banana boat song. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally my banana, which sounds oddly sexual, doesn't it? Come tally my banana? Oh no, get your hands off of my banana, you tallyman. So he sings the Harry Belafonte banana boat song, and he did it in blackface. So we know of him doing blackface, not brown face, not darkening your skin. We know about it at the Arabian Nights party. There's multiple photos of that. And they're all in black and white, so it looks real bad. And then we know about the Day-O banana boat song, because he admitted to it. Oh, but now, there's a new picture and video showing the Canadian Prime Minister wearing blackface. A video obtained by Global News shows Trudeau covered in dark makeup and with his hands in the air laughing, sticking out his tongue and making faces. His arms and legs are covered in the black makeup as well. The video was shot in the 90s, but it's unclear where it took place. So, just how many times have you done this, Justin Trudeau? And so what bothers me about this is not that we've seen this before. Number one, how did this not come out before this man was elected prime minister? Number one. Number two, why is it all of a sudden brown face? It's all of a sudden brown face. And it's all of a sudden like darkening his skin with makeup. And you can say, well, look at Ralph Northam in Virginia. He did not have to resign. He weathered that storm. And his blackface photos were even worse. They were more explicitly racist with the KKK stuff and whatnot. But how about Megyn Kelly from NBC was fired for talking about blackface, if you recall. They had a discussion about it. And Megyn Kelly said something to the effect of, well, if you're playing a character, it used to be okay. And darken your skin a little bit so you could be that character as a form of admiration for that. If it was a specific person you were dressing up as. Kind of like I told you about a guy I know at a Halloween costume contest. He dressed up as Mr. T, and he totally went with the brown body makeup, blackface if you want to call it that now. But he did the whole Mr. T thing. And you could tell the guy loved Mr. T. Here's why. Because if you were a kid in the 80s, everybody loved Mr. T. I've told you about my Mr. T doll. I had a Mr. T talking doll. He had like big feather earrings. It was B.A. Baracus from the A-Team because everybody loved Mr. T. From Rocky 3, he was Clubber Lang. He was B.A. Baracus in the A-Team. And I had a giant Mr. T talking doll. You pull the string on the back, and he would say, "Ah, pity the fool." We'd say, "Murdoch, you're crazy." Or prediction, pain. Right? He'd say all that kind of stuff. So my buddy Seth loved Mr. T, dressed up as Mr. T, and everybody had a great time. Everybody was like, oh, white people, black people, everybody down at Newbies on the Highland Strip was having fun. He didn't get threatened, and nobody took offense. And there were all types of people, very diverse crowd back in the late 90s there on the Highland Strip. So Megyn Kelly, her point was, well, if you're dressing up as a specific character, you know, maybe it's not as bad. Or it used to be acceptable. It wasn't this cancelable offense as it is now. Megyn Kelly was fired for that. People were outraged at Megyn Kelly merely suggesting, mind you, she never even did it herself. She never did it. But the outrage was so great that NBC suspended and then fired Megyn Kelly. And many people who were defending Justin Trudeau, they're making the same argument that Megyn Kelly did. And mind you, she was fired. And NBC probably wanted to get rid of her anyway because her ratings weren't good. And so that just may have been the convenient excuse. But think about that. And, you know, we've had all these blackface controversies before. I mean, honestly, it's getting to the point where you're sending the message that it's okay. If nothing happens with Trudeau, and of course the voters up in Canada will be the ones to decide whether or not this is disqualifying for the Prime Minister. If Ralph Northam in Virginia gets to keep his job, if the Jimmy Kimmels and the Jimmy Fallons and the Sarah Silvermans, they get to keep their job. And Billy Crystal did it. Ted Danson, he's still on TV. So nobody seems to really be getting canceled over blackface. In fact, if the media likes you, they won't even call it blackface. They'll call it brownface, that's new. If it were somebody who was awful, and somebody they didn't like, the media didn't like. Can you imagine? I mean, if it was any Republican, let's say Mitch McConnell. There are photos of Mitch McConnell having done what they call brownface. They'd say that's blackface and that's racist, and Mitch McConnell must resign right now. This is a scandal. This is turmoil. This is strife. How can the government function if there are photos of Mitch McConnell in blackface? But instead, it's somebody that they like. They like Trudeau. He's handsome. He's liberal. He's progressive. This is a guy who corrects people when they say things like, for all the good of mankind. He says, oh, humankind. We don't do that. Oh, yeah. He's so forward. And he has done blackface. He has a history of blackface. In fact, it seems as though Justin Trudeau has done so much blackface, we should consider the possibility that he's really black. And he spends 99% of his time walking around in white makeup. I mean, that's how much blackface this guy has done. He's done so much, he can't even recall how many times he's done this. But of course, he'll just say something like, oh, everybody knows I go overboard in costuming. He doesn't even have a French accent, but he's from Canada. So he must be French-Canadian. So there you have, that's the latest blackface scandal. The scandal here is that if the media and the establishment like you, they won't even call it blackface. They'll call it brownface. So lesson here. If you're liberal or progressive or the darling of the media, you do brownface. But if you even talk about the possibility of brownface or blackface being acceptable, if you even bring that up, you broach the subject, and you're somebody the media doesn't like, or you have any kind of conservative history like Megyn Kelly did, then you're fired, and you're canceled, and you're done. All right. Speaking of a guy who was canceled, Shane Gillis from SNL. Yeah, he will never be Shane Gillis from SNL, because he was fired before he could even get on SNL. He was chosen. Lorne Michaels said, yeah, this guy's funny. I like this guy. But then some comments came up were racially charged and that his deal with SNL was rescinded. Well, he is back on stage for the first time since being fired from SNL, and he broached those subjects. He talked about it, and I have a theory that I think that he's going to be just fine. In fact, being fired from SNL is probably going to work out in his favor. He'll probably do better as a result. We'll talk about Shane Gillis and SNL next right here in the Nation of Jake.
KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News update. A disaster declaration has been made in southeast Texas, where what's left of Tropical Storm Imelda continues to soak the region with heavy rains, forcing evacuations and water rescues. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
That's 3 or 4 or 5 inch per hour rain rates. So what you're looking at is that kind of rain staying for not an hour, not 2 hours, but for 6 hours. And that's how you add up to 2.5 feet of rain just since midnight.
This is Janet Shamlian in Beaumont, Texas, where we are watching a life-threatening flood emergency unfold in real time. 29 inches of rain in 24 hours. More than 250 people have been rescued from their homes. Another 250 or more are awaiting rescue.
The heavy rains have shut down flights into and out of Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston and delayed hundreds more. So far, no casualties have been reported from the storm. CBS News update. I'm Jim Shenovich.
Enjoy award-winning musicians at the Bartley Performing Arts Center. Los Lobos, Hotel California, Rodney Crowell, Sean Mullins, Angelina Ingersoll sings Judy Garland, Gaelic Storm, Angelina Ballerina, Smoke on the Mountain Homecoming, and Mark Combs singing Walking in Memphis. BPAC has it all. Theater, music, family fun. Buy 5 shows and save 25% at 901-385-5588. For tickets 24/7, visit bpac.org. Did you know that your potential customers look at your website and determine your credibility within 8 seconds? Make sure your business reflects the quality service you provide. Contact Control Alt Design for a free quote today. Today's marketplace is very competitive, and you need a professional web presence. Control Alt Design offers web design at a fraction of what the larger firms charge. Control Alt Design has been helping local businesses stand out on the web for over 20 years. They also offer logo design, business card design, flyers, brochures, and more. See their work today at controlaltdesign.com.
Hi, this is Jim Shoemaker. Join me next Wednesday at 8 a.m. and again on Saturday at 9 a.m. My guest, Tiffany Bowers. She is an attorney. We'll be talking about estate planning basics along with Scott Jordan, the certified financial planner, avoiding estate planning mistakes. If you have questions for Talk Money, email them to talkmoney@shoemakerfinancial.com. That's Wednesday morning and again on Saturday at 9 a.m. on Talk Money. The Voice, KWAM 990 and FM 107.9.
Welcome back to it. And the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Go subscribe and let your friends know all about the Nation of Jake. I would appreciate it. I'm on Facebook and Twitter at Nation of Jake. And the Nation of Jake podcast. Be sure to subscribe to that as well. So 2 subscriptions. YouTube and over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker. Wherever fine podcasts are heard, you can listen on demand and commercial free. So we talked yesterday about Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis was hired by Lorne Michaels as a new player, like a featured player on SNL. There's a hierarchy. There's your not ready for primetime players, your cast members, and then they'll say, and also with Bobby Moynihan, you know, that kind of thing, back when Don Pardo was the announcer for SNL. I missed that too, because so many of the names I remember because I was watching and listening to Don Pardo say them. So he was going to be just one of these featured players on SNL, along with 2 others, whose names escape me. I know one of them's name is Yang, because it's a big deal. He's the first East Asian cast member ever in SNL's, how many years has it been on? Since 75, so almost 50 years, 50 plus, 50, 75. Gee, what's going on? 69, 46 years, 47 years. So it's been on for a long time as SNL. And when you think about SNL, you think about it being a launching board for big time careers, and it has been. It has been. But more people have been on SNL and haven't done anything since then. Okay, let's just say that the number of superstars that SNL has produced pales in comparison to the number of also rans who have been on the show. So when I think about Shane Gillis, and I kind of I've gone and I've watched some of his stuff, some of his stand-up, I'm not so sure that he was destined for stardom like a Will Ferrell, or like a Chevy Chase, or like a Mike Myers, or like an Adam Sandler. I mean, you could argue that those guys were on their way, and SNL was a stepping stone to being a superstar instead of a springboard. And we'll get into that in a minute. But Shane Gillis, who was invited to be on SNL, and then a podcast surfaced where he made some comments, and he would call them jokes. And I guess anything that you say unseriously, say on a podcast and you're a comedian, could be considered a joke. The jokes weren't very funny. He just kind of went through, he and a buddy of his, I guess, a fellow comedian. We're talking about the hierarchy of funny with regards to comedians, and he made some homophobic comments, and he made some what would be called racist comments against Asians. And so after some internet outrage, Lorne Michaels said, yeah, you know what, Shane, you're not going to be on SNL. And now everybody's checking out his comedy. They would say, well, what's all the story about? Like, is this guy funny or not? Is he controversial or not? Well, Shane Gillis, he took the stage in his first stand-up since being axed from SNL, and he made a joke about assassinating Donald Trump. Ha! How about that? Well, and here's the thing about it. He joked that Donald Trump would be the funniest president to see get shot. And that is one of the jokes in his first return to stand-up after he was fired from SNL. Gillis talked about being fired from SNL. He says it's been weird. Twitter obviously has been nuts, so you try to stay off it when the whole country hates you. That's not a fun feeling. He continued, everybody's like, you can't say expletive and not expect consequences. He says, I'm fine with the consequences. That's it. I'm not arguing. But I do want everyone to know that I've been reading every one of my death threats in an Asian accent. Gillis then said he was labeled a bad guy, and people assumed he was alt-right. He says, for real, he says he didn't vote for Donald Trump while winking at the audience. He said, look at me. I didn't, but that was tough. His whole campaign was at me. His whole campaign was, are you a fat idiot? It's like, yeah, dude, what are we doing? You know, so anyway, so he's been making fun of it. But then he gets into the whole, he says, I don't want you to think I'm too pro-Trump. So he says, of all the presidents I've been alive for, Trump would definitely be the funniest one to see get shot. He says, without a doubt, that'd be funny. He says, I'm not asking for that. I don't want that to happen. Kind of getting the CYA in there with the Secret Service. He says, but it'd be funny to see. He'd be on stage talking, and the shooter would be coming at him. He'd be like, sit down, sit down. And he says he'd definitely make a funny noise when he got shot. So he would be the funniest president to get shot. Which, I guess, he's capitalizing on all this attention that he's getting, and he's making headlines. And that's when I say, hey, a guy like Shane Gillis, he's probably not going to be the Eddie Murphy or the John Belushi. You know, he's more than likely, if you're on SNL, you're going to be a Bobby Moynihan. You're going to be a Horatio Sands. You know? I mean, because if you think about it, SNL has been a stepping stone or a springboard, depending on who it was, for a bigger career. I mean, it definitely can't hurt, right? I mean, you think about all the names. You know, the original not ready for primetime players, Chevy Chase and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Then into the 80s, you had Eddie Murphy. And that was pretty much it, because that show in the 80s was, well, it took a dive. Remember that year they had like Robert Downey Jr. and Janine Garofalo and Anthony Michael Hall? And those were bad, but you know, those people had good careers. So it didn't hurt them. It didn't exactly springboard them into superstardom, but it didn't hurt. But then the 90s, kind of a resurgence of SNL with Dana Carvey and Phil Hartman and Mike Myers. And then Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and David Spade and Chris Rock. I mean, remember that whole crew? I mean, that's just kind of like two crews. That's like early 90s to mid 90s. And what really spawned all that was they were making movies out of all of these SNL characters, weren't they? It was insane. There was a Pat movie. Julia Sweeney. There were all kinds of movies of these. There's a Night at the Roxbury movie, with Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell. Well, SNL doesn't really operate that way anymore. It's all, who can do an impersonation of a politician. I mean, there are very few recurring original characters. I mean, think about in the 90s when you had Wayne's World, Church Lady, Anal Retentive Chef, Stuart Smalley. I mean, you had these characters who were made up. They were, even going back, you had Irvin Mainway from Mainway Toys. You had these characters. Now there's fewer of them. Well, that said, I mean, Shane Gillis was probably more likely to be one of the many, many forgotten SNL cast members. I mean, think about, some of the names I just read off, these people are superstars. Will Ferrell and Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Kate McKinnon now. So, I mean, it's working out for some of them. But for every Kate McKinnon, there's a Sherry O'Terry. There's a Rachel Dratch. There's an Ellen Cleghorn. And some of these people's names I only remember because of Don Pardo. Ellen Cleghorn, Melanie Hutzel. Horatio Sands. These people have not done anything since. They've had some character bits here and there, I'm sure. Bobby Moynihan. Julia Sweeney. Taran Killam. Jay Farrow. And that's an odd one, man, because Jay Farrow is a fantastic impressionist. The guy does such good impersonations. And just on SNL, he's kind of like, Molly Shannon. Victoria Jackson. Now, Victoria Jackson, well, she was all over that show. All over it. And then after that, she was in some stuff with Weird Al. And Victoria Jackson was some bit part here and there. And now she's kind of a lunatic. A. Whitney Brown. So, yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of people who, look, they probably worked on the show. And maybe they're doing behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to crap on the rest of their careers. But I think that Shane Gillis, I think that he probably would have ended up in this second tier rather than Eddie Murphy. I mean, that's big, right? That's big. And also, when we talk SNL, I always like to bring up just how good was Phil Hartman on SNL. Phil Hartman! I mean, good Lord, and how awful it was the way he went out. Oh, God, love Phil Hartman. The essential glue guy. You need a glue guy on any show like that. And, man, he was always the glue. He was great. So talented. All right, coming up, I want to talk about some weird stuff that's been going on in the gym. Not weird stuff I've been doing, and not even weird stuff people have been doing. Things I've been hearing in the gym. I've been hearing things, and they can't be really happening. I want you to help me out with this. I want you to confirm or deny I've heard what I've heard at the gym, and you don't even have to be there. When I tell you what I've heard at the gym, you can tweet me or get after me on the Facebook and let me know if you believe it. Because I'm not believing my own ears when I go to the gym these days. I'll tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Tee off to support Memphis Oral School for the Deaf at the 10th Annual MOSD Golf Tournament on Thursday, September 26th at Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch. Join us for a hot off the grill barbecue lunch, hospital wings, exciting helicopter ball drop contest, a full day of golf, and an Outback Steakhouse awards dinner with fantastic prizes. A day of fun for you on the greens, all to help deaf children learn to listen and talk. Register to sponsor or play.
Musical guest, Greg Ratliff of the Saturday Night Live Band.
Last time you looked at the windows in your house, not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs, those little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the
It's
pain out of window
time.
cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. Or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
You've heard about CBD.
Musical guest.
Heard about the company providing the highest quality CBD nationwide? It's your CBD store located in East Memphis, South Haven, and Cordova. Their amazing staff is committed to creating a comfortable and educational environment while answering your questions and providing everything you need naturally. Your CBD store with the highest quality products in the industry, located in East Memphis on Poplar, South Haven, and Cordova.
Looking for a cool way to get a new home comfort system without breaking the bank? The Advantage program from Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning gets you a high-quality home comfort system for one low monthly rate. There's no money down, never a charge for repairs, and seasonal tune-ups are free. Right now, get a new home comfort system as low as $99 a month and no additional charges ever. Call Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning today at 866-EXPERTS or visit ServiceExpertsMemphis.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
I'm Ed Paramic, the owner of JanPro, the franchise that helps you be your own boss. JanPro is now the fastest growing franchise in the entire world for the second year in a row by Entrepreneur Magazine. We are growing so fast we need new business owners right here in Memphis right now. So if you want to be your own boss and open your own business, call JanPro at 901-683-4900 to see just how easy it is to be your own boss. For as little as $950 down, you can be a part of JanPro. Don't waste another minute. Call 901-683-4900.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lindoyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floor arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lindoyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Welcome back. It's the Nation of Jake. Musical guest, Dinosaur Jr. You see, I can do it. I can be the announcer for SNL. But for real, welcome back to it. We're streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake there on YouTube. Now, it's no secret, if you go to the YouTube channel and you watch me, you know how good a shape I'm in. Sometimes I do the show shirtless. It's because I spend a lot of time in the gym. Not as much time as I used to. I like to get in there and bang out a workout pretty quick. But I've been hearing weird stuff in the gym. And it has nothing to do with my propensity to crop dust the area. All right, I'm used to that sound. It has nothing to do with the guy who sings. There's a guy who puts in earbuds. And he hops around the gym from machine to machine. And he sings out loud. I don't know what he's singing because he's not that good at it. But it's annoying. And I've got a lot of things about the gym that bother me. The senior citizens get in there early, and they use the leg extension as kind of a lounge chair. And they just kind of talk and talk and talk. And like I'll make small talk with some of the old geezers in the gym sometimes, but I'm in there to get the work done. Now, I've had some complaints about the gym outside of the people, the guys who sings, the guy who doesn't re-rack his weights, all those people. But I also have had some complaints about the music that they play at the gym over the PA, and it's very simple fix. I should just bring earbuds, right? Then I can't hear the guy who's singing, and I can't hear the music on the PA at the gym. But I don't always want to wear earbuds, and so I have to listen to what's going on around me, and usually it's like, pop hits. It's like, I can make your hands clap, and garbage like that. But lately I've been hearing strange things at the gym. Seriously, I was in the gym the other day, and I heard Pop Song 89, the lead track from REM's Green, on at the gym. And I looked up, I was like, wait a second. And it was right in the middle of all that other crap music. I'm like, wait, what radio station is this? what kind of radio service throws REM Pop Song 89 into a station that's got modern hits of the new millennium? It didn't make any sense. Didn't think anything of it at first. Then I was on the leg press machine and I heard Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains, like in between, I don't know, Drake songs or something. Like Alice in Chains and Drake back to back. Just an odd mix. It's like, what demo are you looking to serve, sir? Because Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains is not exactly a motivating kind of song. It's a song about being depressed and on heroin. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in a hole, losing my soul. I'm like, wow. I mean, I appreciated it because I love that song. And then today was probably the most puzzling musical choice. Mother Love Bone. Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns from the Singles soundtrack was on at the gym. And so what I've been doing is I've been texting my buddy Patrick, like documenting all this stuff. I'm like, how does Mother Love Bone get on my gym PA? How did this happen? Just puzzling, just like kind of, maybe it was just a glitch in the Matrix. Maybe that's it. Maybe we were really in the Matrix, real life. All right, coming up, they are going to storm Area 51. How is Area 51 preparing for the fun run?
KWAM, your news and information station with CBS News updates every hour on the hour. KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Shenleby. One-time tropical storm Imelda was expected to be pretty much gone by this time, but it's still a tropical depression, still has 25-mile-per-hour sustained winds, and it's parked over southeast Texas, causing all kinds of flooding and related problems. Correspondent Maria Villarreal.
Listening to a lot of the local meteorologists that we are working with here on the ground, a lot of people are saying that this does remind them very much so of Hurricane Harvey, because this storm right now is not moving very fast. It is literally sitting right where we are and continuing to hammer the area. So we will continue to see floods all through the afternoon and into the evening, well into probably the weekend.
There was a closed-door hearing by the House Intelligence Committee today on how a whistleblower complaint was handled. Reportedly a complaint from an intelligence official about a conversation President Trump had with a world leader. CBS's Steve Dorsey.
Lawmakers are pushing for more details about the complaint. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I obviously trust the judgment of our committee chair, Adam Schiff, and he's following this very closely with an expert eye on what the law is, what protections there are for whistleblowers, and where does it cross a line of a conversation that the president may have, or commitment he may make for our nation that the public should be aware of.
But top House Republican Kevin McCarthy urged restraint.
I would, instead of jump to conclusions, actually get the facts first.
Steve Dorsey, CBS News, Washington.
The head of the FAA wants to fly on Boeing's 737 MAX jet before its return to service with what's believed to be the fix for a problem that's been linked to 2 crashes. CBS's Jason Brooks.
Boeing 737 MAX won't be recertified until the head of the Federal Aviation Administration flies the plane. FAA Administrator Steve Dixon tells NBC News that he's the final sign-off authority in the U.S., and he's not going to sign off on the aircraft till he flies it. They'll also get into the simulator and test the changes made to the MAX by Boeing engineers. Boeing's hoping to get the plane back in the air in the 4th quarter of this year.
The CDC says the number of people diagnosed with a possible vaping-related lung illness has now jumped to 530. The CDC's Ann Shuggett says the investigation into what's causing this condition does continue.
Many patients have reported using products containing THC and products containing nicotine. And some have reported the use of e-cigarette products containing only nicotine.
But Dr. Shuckett says so far no single ingredient has been linked to this lung condition. On Wall Street right now, the Dow down 5 points, the NASDAQ up 15, the S&P has added 5. This is CBS News.
The CBS World News Roundup Late Edition with Jim Shenleby.
President Trump held a series of meetings today on the border wall
Every weeknight on the CBS Radio Network.
Ever wonder why Europeans seem to speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe.
Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away, whether you're learning Spanish, French, or German. And best of all, you'll remember what you've learned.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Using Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons, you can be speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I was amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. Now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com or download the app and try it for free. That's Babbel, BABBEL.com, or download the app to try it for free. That's babbel.com.
It's a cheap daily pill that combines 4 drugs used in developing countries to treat conditions that can lead to heart attacks and strokes. And now, Polypill has been tested for the first time in the U.S., and health experts are considering whether it would be useful to distribute it in low-income areas where access to medical care is limited. Polypill contains low doses of 3 blood pressure drugs and a cholesterol drug. It's not without controversy. Doctors complain such drugs really need to be tailored individually. People with type 2 diabetes are often told to stay away from alcohol as it can raise blood sugar levels. New research out of China says moderate drinking may actually be beneficial for type 2 diabetics. The research from Southeast University in Nanjing found small amounts of alcohol daily helped lower levels of triglycerides, a type of blood fat, and also ease diabetics' insulin resistance. But researchers do warn that drinking too much is still a risk factor for diabetes. Jim Shenleby, CBS News. Brought to you by Attorney Tax.
If you're in trouble with the IRS and owe at least $10,000 in back taxes, listen to this important public announcement. The IRS is now offering a special program called the Fresh Start Initiative, which can offer significantly reduced settlements that can reduce your liability by thousands of dollars. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and substantially reduce or eliminate your tax burden. If you're approved and qualified, the IRS will stop the collections against you. Don't feel overwhelmed. Please call the Consumer Hotline to see if you qualify. 800-333-9896. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, you may qualify for substantial relief and even forgiveness. See if you qualify and get the help you need by calling the Consumer Hotline. 800-333-9896. 800-333-9896. 800-333-9896.
You want to work here, get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.fart. We've also got the YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Just go find Nation of Jake there on the YouTube. One word, Nation of Jake. Run it all together. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Nation of Jake. On this mid-September afternoon, 94 degrees or so. Code orange air quality. So if you are a sensitive group, you have asthma, small children, limit your time outdoors. MATA buses, just 25 cents. Ride that bastard all day up and down Poplar. 25 cents. A bargain at twice the price, if you ask me. All right, today on the program, we've covered the top news here in Memphis. Officer-involved shooting. A Shelby County Sheriff's deputy was shot 5 or 6 times in a confrontation with a felony warrant. A felon they were serving a warrant on, Willie Hudson. The warrant was for attempted murder, and so they went in to serve the warrant, and he attempted to murder the sheriff's deputy. Miraculously, he was upgraded from critical to non-critical to being released this morning. So that's one story that we are following here in the Nation of Jake locally. Nationally, there's another blackface controversy. We went over it earlier. Justin Trudeau from Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, he is now apologizing after a third instance of blackface has emerged. All right, he darkened his skin to dress up as Aladdin at an Arabian Nights gala. He also admitted to blackface when he was singing the Banana Boat song, Deo. I guess he felt like he couldn't sing it without looking like Harry Belafonte himself. And then a third instance of blackface emerged, and now he is apologizing once again for the darkening his skin, as they're calling it, the brown face or the black face. Let's listen to Trudeau once again apologizing for the black face that has emerged. Racialized. I never should have done it 3 times, and I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, okay? Yeah, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, okay? I didn't mean it. I should have known, and I apologize, okay? I'm sorry. So there you have it. Those are the 2 stories here, locally and nationally, that we're following in the Nation of Jake. In a little bit, we're going to talk about the 2020 election with Ron Hart. He's been watching the debates. I think we have another debate coming up in October, and he says they're hard to watch. I think they're kind of easy to watch. They're fun to watch if you got the time. He says they're just hard to watch, complete train wrecks. And we'll talk about the front runner Joe Biden. There are some new observations about Joe Biden and his face, how it's been stretched over his skull in the recent years. And then also Elizabeth Warren is surging in the polls. We'll talk to Ron Hart about that coming up in about 10, 15 minutes or so. There is one story that I don't want to ignore. Now, you remember months ago, somebody decided to create a Facebook group and encouraging people to storm Area 51. Now, this was obviously a joke. I mean, the whole point was to get as many people as you can to all run at Area 51 and storm it. They can't stop us all. We will know the truth about aliens and UFOs and what happens in Area 51. Well, the reality of it is that people are starting to show up in Nevada. Here we have from the AP. Visitors descending on the remote Nevada desert for Storm Area 51 are from Earth, not outer space. No one knows what to expect, but the 2 tiny towns of Rachel and Hico, or Hico, near the once secret military research site are preparing for an influx of people over the next few days. It's happening. We already have people from all over the world, says Little Ala Inn proprietor Connie West. Volunteers have arrived from Portland, Scotland, Australia, Florida, Idaho, and Oklahoma. Neighbors, elected officials, and event organizers said the craze sparked by an internet joke inviting people to see them aliens might become a cultural marker, monumental dud, or something in between. Area 51 secrecy has long fueled fascination about extraterrestrial life, UFOs, and conspiracy theories, giving rise to the events this week and prompting military warnings not to approach the protected site. This phenomenon is really a perfect blend of interest in aliens and the supernatural, government conspiracies, and the desire to know what we don't know, says Michael Ian Borer, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or UNLV. He's a sociologist over there at UNLV. He researches pop culture and paranormal activity. Okay, let's stop right there. Can we hang out a minute? This guy's job is to research pop culture and paranormal activity. This guy's job is essentially to watch Ghostbusters and watch movies and TV shows and research the internet and tell ghost stories. And that's a real job. The result, Bohr said, was hope and fear for events that include the Area 51 base camp featuring music, speakers, and movies, and 2 festivals competing for the name Alien Stock starting Thursday. So today, there's all these people. They're saying there's like 50,000 people that are going to descend onto this area. Some neighbors and officials in 2 other counties are nervous. They're saying that it's just home to 50,000 people itself. And so if tens of thousands show up, I mean, you don't have the infrastructure. How many toilets are you going to have? Are you going to have enough toilets for these people? Elected officials signed emergency declarations after millions responded on Facebook to the Storm Area 51 post this summer. We're preparing for the worst, said Jorg Arnu, a resident of the town of Rachel, who could see his home from a makeshift stage and cluster of portable toilets in a dusty area recently scraped of brush surrounding West Little's motel and cafe. Arnu said he installed outdoor floodlights, fencing, and no trespassing signs on his 30-acre property. He's also organized a radio-equipped night watch of neighbors, fearing there won't be enough water, food, trash bins, or toilets for visitors. Those that know what to expect camping in the desert are going to have a good time. Those who are looking for a big party are going to be disappointed. He predicts people showing up in the deserts in shorts and flip-flops. That does not protect you against critters, snakes, and scorpions, Arnu said. It will get cold at night. The desert, by the way, a desert doesn't mean it's hot. A desert means there's a lack of water. So it does get cold at night in the desert. He says they're not going to find what they're looking for, and they're also going to get angry. So essentially he's saying that this is going to be the fire festival. Is what he's going to say. Isn't it amazing? It truly is amazing. The guys who organized Woodstock, they were trying to do the 50th anniversary of Woodstock this year, they couldn't get it together. And that's a brand name, Woodstock, going to be in a temperate area. It was going to be up in New York. And they couldn't get it to happen, an actual concert. Some clowns start a Facebook joke about storming Area 51, and people are actually showing up. It's amazing. However, I mean, this guy's right. I mean, going out and camping in the desert, you got to do a lot of preparation. You got to know what to expect. Officials expect cellular service to be overwhelmed. The nearest gas station is 45 miles away. Campers could encounter overnight temperatures as low as 41. We really didn't ask for this, says Varlin Higbee, a Lincoln County commissioner who voted to allocate $250,000 in funds to handle anticipated crowds. Yeah, they also don't have the money for it. They had to go to like the reserve funds or scarce funds to deal with this. This is crazy. I mean, and here's the thing about it, man. Like, Monster Energy drink, people should be all over this. They should be out there waiting. Because if there's going to be a lot of people there, you get those eyeballs, and you get into that alternative lifestyle, sort of conspiracy, nut job lifestyle, and you could make some fans. You could align yourself with some pretty loyal people. Here we have Higbee saying, we have planned and staged enough to handle 30 to 40,000 people. We don't know how many will come for sure. Though the creator of the Facebook event later called it a hoax, the overwhelming response sent local, state, and military officials scrambling. Promoters began scouting sites. A beer company produced alien-themed cans. A Nevada brothel offered discounts to ET enthusiasts. The Federal Aviation Administration closed nearby airspace this week. This is serious. This is going to be awesome. The Area 51 base camp promises up to 60 food trucks and vendors, trash and electrical service, and a robust security and medical staff. George Harris, owner of the Alien Research Center, which is a souvenir shop, he said he was prepared for 15,000 people and expected they would appreciate taking selfies with a replica of Area 51's back gate without having to travel several miles to the real thing. It's exactly the same, he said. He just wants people to be safe. As long as they don't go on the desert floor and destroy the ecosystem, everyone will have a good time. The motel owner, West, is planning an alien stock Thursday through Sunday in Rachel, a town of about 50 residents, a more than 2-hour drive north of Las Vegas on a normally lonely road dubbed the Extraterrestrial Highway. She plans 20 musical acts, plus food, vendors, and souvenir sellers. Man, it'd be fun to go to alien stock. Imagine if this became a thing, like a Woodstock type deal. And that's how, Woodstock wasn't supposed to be all that big. And it was like 500,000 naked hippies in the mud, grilling up grilled cheese sandwiches or whatever it was. A total disaster is what it was. It got romanticized quite a bit, but they had Jimi Hendrix and Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and all those guys, David Crosby at least. So, Alien Stock. This is something I want to follow, only because, into the weekend, it will get real busy. I mean, I'm doing soccer tournaments and stuff. I can't up and go to Nevada. But if you are, say, upwardly mobile, and you've got, say, money to burn, and you're an adventurer, maybe you could go out to Nevada, to Alien Stock, and then, or Area 51 Base Camp, and you could report back and let us know. I would love to hear from somebody. We're worldwide. We got people in Nevada listening. I'm on the internet and whatnot, on the YouTube channel. It'd be great to have some sort of correspondent at the Area 51 event to storm Area 51. That'd be fantastic. In a little bit, we've got the news cruise, but next up, we're going to talk to Ron Hart, the nationally syndicated columnist. He has some thoughts on the 2020 presidential candidates, as he so often does. We'll catch up with Ron next, right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees. He's a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So next, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Don't miss out on the best golf tournament in the Mid-South. Join us for the 10th annual Memphis Oral School for the Deaf Golf Tournament at the beautiful Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch on Thursday, September 26th. Enjoy a hot off-the-grill lunch by Backyard Southern-style seasoning, an exciting helicopter ball drop contest, a full day of golf, and a delicious Outback Steakhouse Awards dinner with lots of prizes. Every dollar raised helps stepchildren learn to listen and talk. Sponsor or register today at mosdkids.org.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Do you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have a goal? Dan Grogan at Power at Service Advisor Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. They only think about is it going to be spent at interrupt. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
That number could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. When you call today, Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning can hook you up with a furnace tune-up. Right now, save $20 on a furnace tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros. See website for license details.
Enjoy award-winning musicians at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center. Los Lobos, Hotel California, Rodney Crowell, Sean Mullins, Angelina Ingersoll sings Judy Garland, Gaelic Storm, Angelina Ballerina, Smoke on the Mountain Homecoming, and Mark Combs singing Walking in Memphis. BPAC has it all. Theater, music, family fun. Buy 5 shows and save 25% at 901-385-5588. For tickets 24/7, visit bpac.org.
All right, welcome back to it. It's the Nation of Jake on the Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. I let time get away from me, and I didn't get Ron Hart on the phone. I got to call him right now, so bear with me. Just got to get over. The phone is a little bit farther away from the old microphone that I want. So I just have to, step over here and dial up his number. I'll do so as not to make sure that, we don't give out his number on the air. What I don't want to do is have you recognize the tones, and then that way you can call his personal phone. He wouldn't like that. Oh, here, I think he's right here. I think he's good. I think Ron's here. Ron, you there, bud? Hey, dude. Hey, you're on the air in the Nation of Jake right now. I meant to call you, but I was searching for some. Exactly. You didn't have to answer any questions or anything like that. Yeah, you know what? I guess that's one of the good things about having the TSA is you always feel wanted. Oh yeah, this is the jam, man. When I can just decide who gets in and out, there's no walls. It's just me, giving me thumbs up and thumbs down like a Roman emperor sometimes. All right. Well, what's going on with you, Ron Hart? You've been, I'm sure, traveling. You've been splitting your time in retirement. You're all over the globe. I think a few weeks ago we talked about you being in Rome. Have you done any international travel of late? Sure. Right on. All right, Ron Hart. You've got your latest column out. You've been, kind of organizing all your thoughts on these Democrat debates. I'm sure you've seen, bits and pieces here and there. I mean, I don't know who's going to sit down for 3 hours at a time and watch these train wrecks. I mean, because that's kind of what they've been. Hard to watch for sure. This has been really odd with Joe Biden. I mean, we've talked about all the gaffes and everything that's been going on with Joe Biden. The other day, he told this story about Corn Pop, the gangster back from 1962, when he was like a lifeguard at a pool and he had a confrontation with a gangster named Corn Pop. And here's the thing about it: there have been people who have corroborated the story, said that was true. But what I want to know is who's his audience for something like that? What was the point? And it just sounds goofy. Yeah.
Chain and then there's switchblades. Somehow, something noble, worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize. Someone, got Corn Puff to calm down, and Biden was able to secure the swim rights to the swimming pool there. It's like a crazy story. First of all, if it happened, don't tell it. It's great. It didn't say
right. But I know the point he's making. Like, here's the thing: when you tell these stories, you have to know your audience. He's surrounded by young kids who just want to go swimming. And he's telling this droning story about a guy with razor blades. He's like, oh, yeah, they used to have them. They used to put them in a rain pail and then bang them on the curb. And you're like, what are you talking about? So, yeah. It was Corn Pop. Right. What I want somebody to do is, where's like the college humor, the Funny or Die guys? I want them to take the audio of Joe Biden telling the story, and then I want to see a reenactment. Is what I want to see. Is like the reenactment have actors and comedians act out the confrontation with Corn Pop. It needs to happen.
Corn Pop should be played by Cuba Jr., maybe.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the guy. Yeah, just get a badass, because Corn Pop was a bad dude, a bad hombre. But the latest things with Joe Biden, it's not even like the goofy stories he's telling, which may or may not be true. He said the other day something about how if a certain piece of legislation was enacted, that 720 million women would be back in the workforce, and 720 million. Well, it's also 720 million people. It's twice the population of the United States, or more so. Sure. Right. Right, right.
The United States, we run them from, president or ruling job where your mental capacity is paramount. Yet, they're allowed to run for president. Do that name recognition.
You think he's just like the comfortable shoe? Like, is that it? I mean, like, out of all of them, you're like, okay, we know this guy. We feel okay. He's got ties back to Barack Obama, and that guy seemed like a solid dude, or at least we were told he was.
Backing with telling, hey, the loyalty of Barack Obama or the ineptness of Joe Biden is the reason Barack Obama will back him. I mean, why are you going to step up for your vice president? That's kind of a weasel move about Barack Obama.
Yeah, what did Obama say to him? Obama said, like, Joe, you really don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to do this.
He probably been around and know he's nuts. He's what his men said, right? So he's got
Sure.
He's got a funny group of leftist people right now. The center of the Democrat nominee is held by a gay Episcopal, ex-military guy who kisses his boyfriend on stage. That's
Yeah.
kind of the center.
Yeah, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and you don't hate him as a candidate. You kind of like him, right?
I like him. He holds the census together. He's a minister. He's a mayor of a town. At the end of the day, being president, you're just a minister of government. I mean, fix the potholes, make sure the bridges are working, make sure the military's good, and get out of my business. I think Mayor Pete, if I had to put a gun to my head,
Well, yeah.
tell me to pick one, I'd probably say go ahead and shoot me. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the mayor. The mayor's got to get over or not. It's got to be Hawaiian girl.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah. I saw a workout video of hers, and she was like the only one. Yeah, she put it on Twitter, and she was the only one of those candidates who could put out like a workout video of her in the gym, like really getting after it and not look stupid. Like because she's from Hawaii, she surfs. Yeah, go on Twitter, you'll find it. I'll retweet it and I'll tag you in it and you can check it out. But yeah, with Mayor Pete, man, I agree with you in that he's probably more interesting than a lot of the candidates. But he's got some real goofy ideas. He wants to get rid of the Electoral College, and you're talking about gun to the head kind of thing. You're going to think hard about. I don't know if I can even do it. That's correct. That's right. That's right. So. We've got Joe Biden, the front runner, the comfortable shoe, and I guess like the new moccasin would be Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, it's got like she's like surging in the polls, but I don't know if that's just because she looks the part. She's so academic, she's talking about plans. I just think that I think the Democrats are scared to death that Elizabeth Warren will overtake Joe Biden and become the front runner because she's got a lot of answers. I mean, she's got a lot of answering to do about some of these policies and how they're going to pay for them. With everything that she's proposing. Yeah. No, he's like, leave me out of you. Leave me out of your Facebook Live with your I want to get me a beer kind of stuff. The latest though, and it's good to see that somebody is starting to kind of hold her feet to the fire. She's been talking about all these different things she wants to do, Medicare for all being one of them. And people have asked her, how are you going to pay for it? Are you going to raise taxes on the middle class? And the obvious answer is yes, you're going to have to raise taxes on the middle class, but she's so scared of saying that because I guess that doesn't test well. Did you see when Stephen Colbert asked her that question and she could not answer it? I've got the
She's giving things away to everybody.
Right.
No one else wants to pay for them. She's trying to buy votes. I mean, she'll give you anything you want if you vote for her. She'll get in there. I love there was a son of yours in Alabama football game 2 years after Barack Obama was elected. And it was signed that, hey, Obama, we're talking about free and things.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was just a great line. Where's all the free stuff? You promised us all this free stuff. You can't do that. It's just not easy. You can't. And from whose wallet does it come? The most productive
Well, the one guy who I think is telling the truth right now, it's not helping him out at all. It'll be Beto. Beto wants to take your guns away. I mean, he is doubling and tripling down on this gun confiscation. He wants to say we're going to buy them back, which means I didn't buy them from you. How can you buy them back? But he's become a single issue guy on gun control, not just gun control, but gun confiscation. And I think that a lot of the Democrats are saying, hey, Beto, shut up. Because they've...
Get off the stage. He's a weird guy. He's a heartthrob. Teen Magazine heartthrob. And, great guy. And everybody loved him first. And you get to know him. Like all these guys, the more you get to know him, the less you like him. They're kind of beating Trump in a generic poll. The generic person's fine until you get to know him and realize how creepy and odd they are. So, and the media will protect them. Look, the media's going to protect them. The most comfortable position right now would be number 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Let everybody take shots at Biden. He's going to flame out. He's got Alzheimer's. He's got something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but he's got some mental incapacity. It's going to get him out of there. I think the party will demand it. And, and this party's supposed to be the party of young people, young ideas. They're running for guys 78, Bernie Sanders, and got 76, Biden. They run an old white man. And if you get rid of the old white people, they're going to run to death. So they're going to get out of the party. They have a heart attack.
Right.
This is not a young party of ethnic type of brilliant people, or at least Barack Obama. And I said in my column, one thing about, this is so negative, they're so mad about everything. Bernie Sanders is like an old man with his finger in there trying to get the waiter to slip out the soup in the deli. He's just an angry man. At least Obama had hope and change. He had a certain amount of optimism in his message. I think that resonated with people, including myself. Against all these wars, he was young, he had optimism, and people like this optimism among this.
Oh, no. Oh, no, they always like to call the GOP the party of no. But all they're saying is, hey, no air travel, no fossil fuels, no meat. We want to ban everything, no guns. You don't get to say what you want. We want to put restrictions on the First Amendment. It's insane. They've become the party of no. Their answer is to ban everything. It's just kind of like, that doesn't... And really, their only position is anti-Trump. Like, they've got all these ideas, but it's all easy. It's like, oh yeah, Medicare for all, fine. How are you going to pay for it? Oh, let's not worry about it. You had Kamala Harris at that last debate. Joe Biden was saying, look, you can't just govern by executive order because it's unconstitutional. And all Kamala Harris could say was, hey, Joe, let's quit saying no, we can't, and say yes, we can. Just laughing about it. By the way, she'll be in Memphis on Sunday, and she's in trouble. She's in trouble, Ron.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. I mean, they're all, the more you know, the less you
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
The media will protect them. They'll make them this great heroes. They'll not name a story on them. And think it's Fox News, Talk Radio, and a couple other outlets. The director will listen to best John Solomon. People like that will do actual investigation.
Right.
On people. And it's the media's become a spokesperson for the Democrat Party. They are a media operation. They're not journalist people.
No. Oh, this whole Kavanaugh thing the other day when they adapt an article in the New York Times from a book and they leave out that these allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, that there's no complainant, there's no victim because this woman doesn't recall it. Right. Yeah, it's going to be Amy Barrett. Watch. That's the thing. It's going to be Amy Barrett. She actually went to Rhodes, and they're going to be like, whoops. Yeah, because. Yeah, at Alex's Tavern, or she got naked and she climbed on top of the Charles Deal statue like everybody. She rode the links at Rhodes naked. I guess that'll be it. Yeah. All right, Ron Hart, nationally syndicated columnist. We'll talk to you. It could be. No, she was there before me. Well, yeah. Listen, I'll make something up. You want to start that rumor? Go ahead. All right, man. We'll get in cahoots. All right, thanks. Ron Hart there, nationally syndicated columnist. He doesn't have a website that he sends people to. He just says, hey, Google me. If you want to find me, you can. It's very simple, and I think that's the right way to do it. All right, coming up, we've got a leisurely look at the headlines, the news cruise. That's next right here in the Nation of Jake.
CBS News update. Parts of Texas are underwater after days of heavy rain.
Worse than it did in Harvey.
Some areas have seen more than 2 feet of rain since Imelda arrived as a tropical storm. is now a depression parked over Southeast Texas. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner.
I have no reports of any injuries. What we have at this point, street flooding in certain areas, and then some structural flooding, and we're having
structural flooding. What's up, dude? I was talking to Bohannon yesterday. He told me that iHeartRadio or iHeartMedia Memphis is down 205,000 in the month of August. Almost $1 million year to date. And I was like, bro, how long do they get to be in charge over there anymore? He said, clock's got to be ticking.
Absolutely.
If you're in need of a professional,
I know that he got that hell out.
seriously as you do, call JanPro Cleaning Systems today.
Oh yeah, man, he's.
How important it is to establish and maintain a professional image. That's why they offer the JanPro Signature Clean and the JanPro Guarantee. From regular scheduled cleaning to the tough stuff like stripping and waxing, buffing, carpet extractions, and detail cleaning, JanPro does it all. Call today for a free, no-obligation quote. 901-683-4900. Insured and bonded for your protection. JanPro Cleaning Systems. Measurable cleaning, guaranteed results.
Your dog is a furry member of your family, and they deserve the highest level of care. Dogtopia has award-winning daycare, boarding, and spa services. They are the safest, cleanest, and most transparent dog daycare and boarding option for you. The best part? You can check in with your dog anytime on the video stream on your phone. Dogtopia, located at Carriage Crossing. Find out more at dogtopia.com to schedule your dog's best day ever.
Welcome back to it. The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, at Nation of Jake. Pretty much anywhere you go on the social media. Very easy to find, very easy to keep in touch with. If something ever happens and we get separated and we're in an unfamiliar place, you can always find me on the social media at Nation of Jake. You got to be prepared for that kind of stuff. What if we were out at the Area 51 alien stock and we got separated? You could go ahead and find me on Facebook and you could get in touch with me. Message me there if you want, or you could tweet at me at Nation of Jake. It's important these days. All right. I guess we got all these headlines to get to. Without further ado, let's hop on this boat. It's more of a yacht, but I like to understate things because I'm not that fancy. It's the news cruise in the Nation of Jake. All right, welcome aboard the news cruise. It is brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. You can give them a call at 751-3934. That's 751-3934. Those guys can clean not just your windows. Even though they're called Just Windows, they do a lot more than that. Blinds, screens, shutters, gutters. They do pressure washing, clean off your roof. They can do it all there at Just Windows Home Services. Local guys in business since 1992, which again doesn't seem like all that long ago, but when you consider it's 27 years serving the Mid-South, that's substantial. So give Steve a call and the guys at Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. They're online at justwindowsmemphis.com. 20% off if you mention the Nation of Jake. All right, in the news today, of course, yesterday, shortly after the program, we got word of a Shelby County Sheriff's deputy who was shot 5 or 6 times when serving a warrant in South Memphis. TBI agents, as well as MPD, and others from Shelby County Sheriff's Office surrounded the scene of the shooting in the 1200 block of Haven Circle. The suspect has been identified as Willie Hudson. One deputy, when confronted by the suspect, was shot 5 or 6 times. The other deputy was injured by a dog bite. The deputy who was shot was in critical condition, then upgraded to non-critical condition, and then released this morning from Regional 1 Medical Center. That is a miracle that he's alive and out of the hospital. I'm sure he's got a road to recovery. When you're shot 5 or 6 times and you were released the next day, that's fantastic. They said that he is lucky to be alive. The suspect, Willie Hudson, the warrant that was being served was for attempted murder. So we're glad that the sheriff's deputy is okay. And so, of course, the TBI is in there doing their investigation as to what exactly went down. Code orange today in the city. Code orange alert. You've got air levels may be unhealthy for certain people with respiratory disease, such as asthma. It's recommended these people limit their time outdoors. So they're asking you don't refuel your cars or lawnmowers until after 7. Combine errands instead of making many trips. Driving less during peak hours, cut down on the pollutants. And also, Matafee's 25 cents here on this Code Orange Thursday in Memphis in the Mid-South. Now, the Shelby County Assessor, Melvin Burgess, is saying that the property values in Orange Mound are reaching a point of no return, that they have fallen by 26% in Orange Mound, according to data analyzed by the assessor's office. At the same time, values have steadily increased in surrounding neighborhoods. So a lot of people will look at this and say, see, Memphis has momentum, but not all of Memphis has momentum. And it's like, well, sure. I mean, there are neighborhoods that aren't going to float along like the rest of the city. I mean, Orange Mound has been a high crime area. They say that the homes found were valued as much as 50% less than comparable homes in neighborhoods that are majority white. Burgess's office began to analyze Orange Mound's property data after he heard a presentation from the Brookings Institute and decided to use the neighborhood with the largest black population outside of Harlem as a case study. Well, look, black or white, short or tall, if you have a neighborhood where there's high crime, people don't want to live there. The city of Memphis and various areas within suffer from that. You've got violent crime going on, a lot of thefts, break-ins, burglaries. You've got bad schools in the area. You've got blight. Of course, the property values will be less in those areas than they will in areas that don't have those issues to the degree in which you do in Orange Mound. So they're saying it's at a crossroads. I mean, I just don't know what you do. What do you do about that? There are desirable places to live and less desirable places to live. High crime areas, regardless of the color of the skin of the people who inhabit those high crime areas, is not a place people want to live. And of course, the home values are going to be lower in those areas. Oh, check it out. We've got this parole hearing for this guy in Collierville. Remember this story? Wortman, Fred the Wortman. He was serving a 30-year sentence for attempting to kill his wife 3 separate times. He was scheduled for a parole hearing. He's only been behind bars for 4 years. Wortman accepted a plea deal of 30 years back in 2015. As part of that plea was to serve 30% or 9 years. And he's already having a parole hearing after 4. This guy tried to kill his wife once by poisoning her toothpaste, and then 2 more times he tried to hire a hitman to kill his wife. A parole board member in the parole hearings has recommended denying his parole for the former Collierville attorney Fred Wortman for the attempted murder of his wife 3 different times. So I guess, hold on a second. He was sentenced to 30 years, and he had to serve at least 30% or 9 years. and he even gets a parole hearing after 4 years. Why? Why would he ever? Well, there's a big petition to make sure he doesn't. 38,000 people have signed this petition, which was launched in July. Who people do not want to see this guy get out. I don't want to see this guy get out just after 4 years. Wait, what's the point even of sentencing him to 30 years if there's a possibility of parole after 4? I mean, it should be no possibility until after 9. I mean, think about it. This guy, the only reason that he's not a murderer is because he was inept. Well, the poison didn't work and the hitman didn't come through. One of the hitmen that he tried to hire was a TBI agent. So they say at least a parole board member has recommended denying parole. I don't know how that process works these days. I guess it's not like Shawshank, where they sit you down and they talk to you and you give a flowery speech about rehabilitated. I don't know the meaning of the word. Stamped. Approved. We've got an update here. We talked about earlier this week the law enforcement in the area was trying to look for Tequila Hayes, a Memphis mom who went missing back in August. I guess her family hadn't heard from her since May. So this has been months, and now a search warrant says investigators believe that Carl Hayes, her husband, was directly involved in the disappearance of Tequila Hayes sometime between May 21st and 22nd. Shelby County Sheriff's detectives said fresh paint, new carpet, and drained bank accounts prompted them to search the home of Tequila Hayes, the missing nurse and mother they've been looking for since last month. They went out, they combed the area, and they didn't find any sign of her. But now they're looking into her husband as being a person of interest, and I'm sure there'll be more to investigate as it goes on. And this is cool. This is a positive news story that we'll end this cruise on. Remember those kids at Martin Luther King College Prep who they bullied a kid for wearing the same clothes every day, and then a couple of days later they felt bad about it, and so they gave him some clothes. They gave some new shoes and some new threads so he could have some different outfits and not get bullied. Well, those guys are going to be on Ellen, I guess today at 4 on ABC Local. I guess the Local 24. So Ellen DeGeneres saw this, and she does a great job about having people on her show, people who go viral for good deeds. I understand it's a cool story, and these guys are going to go on Ellen and tell the story how exactly it went down. And so, yeah, very impressive. And I don't think these guys did this so they could get on the Ellen show. I'm almost certain these guys don't watch Ellen. That said, good on you, man. That was a cool thing to do. And I'm glad that you're getting the attention you are, because it kind of shines a positive light on some of the things going on here in the Mid-South. I mean, I know that I go negative a bit. I'm a bit of a critic. But when cool stuff happens like that, I'm always the first to want to make sure it gets on the news crews. Because why wouldn't I? All right, coming up next, we'll get you set for the Earl Farrell Show on this National Talk Like a Pirate Day. Earl Farrell for Memphis coming up for Memphis. Right here in the Nation of Jake.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs, those little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. But cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just
Bob
Windows
Davis
cleans all types of
sent me a
windows,
text
storm
from France.
windows,
He's going over to
screens,
India.
skylines,
He goes to
interior,
India every
exterior,
year.
upstairs and down. Now I know I told
Where
you
was
the company is called Just Windows
I said,
Home
isn't it like
Services.
really hot over there? Oh, God.
We're in India?
Yeah.
Mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light
Because
fixtures,
that Indian media goes, I'm
I'm
from India. The hottest place on earth. All the women and all the men are the hairiest people on earth. How does that work?
Funny.
Because only an East Indian can say that. Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else, you end up like Trudeau.
It's not Trudeau.
Was that wrong? Wrong.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many times I just get all into it. So what?
It's the Retirement Income Doctor, hosted by Dave McAdams of the McAdams Group. Each week, Dave will teach
teach you retirement strategies that have worked year after
Make a
year,
lot of
decade
money.
after decade in
Start with
any
that.
kind of market. That's right.
Don't spend all the
Retirement
money.
Income Doctor will teach
Then
you
quit when you
strategies.
think you got enough to
So
make
join
it
us
80.
Saturday mornings at 10
I hope
for
you
the
have a big
Retirement
bugger.
Income Doctor.
Woo.
about CBD, but have you heard about the company providing the highest quality CBD nationwide? It's your CBD store, located in East Memphis and South Haven.
Colt suspends production of AR-15 for civilian market. How does Colt do that?
They just stopped making them, sell them to the retail outlets.
I mean,
and you want to know why I got mine? Because I knew this was going to eventually happen. I don't think that they'll never be able to ban them, but I think that they will curtail the slaughter. Mine's a Smith & Wesson MP.
Thursday, September 19th from 9
I mean, I have a 45.
And you can be
Heckler
fine
and Koch. I don't need an AR. I don't want one. But here's the thing about it: AR-15. People just go buy a Ruger Mini 14. But the same gun. I mean, there's so many different ones. The AR-15 is the most.
Popular.
Yeah, they're most popular for a lot of reasons, but.
I think Colt is somewhere like Connecticut. Where
Yeah. West
Such a
Hartford.
liberal state. They figured they're going to be something that so they appear to be.
Another gun company will just, do whatever they want. What's up, dude?
Got a picture of Tom Brady and Ric Flair next to each other. It says one of these two had all their titles scripted, the other is Ric Flair.
That's fine.
It also notes that Ric Flair still has 10 more championships than Tom
here we go. Nyar, har, 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 mateys. National Talk Like a Pirate Day. And I don't know when this started. We can find out. National Talk Like a Pirate Day here in the nation of Jake. I don't do a lot of the National Day stuff. But I will today if it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Because who doesn't like to talk like a pirate? Earl Farrell's aboard.
I like talking like a pirate.
I love all the old maritime language. Yo ho ho. International Talk Like a Pirate Day is upon us. Aye, mateys. 'Tis a day we've all been waiting for. I guess I'm an English pirate. I don't know.
You ain't from here.
Before you grab your grog and parrot, let's get ye educated. The idea for National Talk Like a Pirate Day was born in 1995 on a YMCA racquetball court in Albany, Oregon. John Old Chumbucket Bauer and his friend Mark Captain Slappy Summers began throwing around insults just like pirates. I guess it just was a couple of guys who were playing the old squash or racquetball. They selected September 19th simply because Summers had recently divorced and it was his ex-wife's birthday, and he figured the date was stuck in my head and I wasn't going to do anything with it anymore. This is according to CNN in an interview in 2009. But it wasn't until old Dave Barry, the humorist, caught wind of the idea and threw his support behind it in a September 2002 Miami Herald column that this rickety ship took sail. As the name suggests, this is a day on which everyone would talk like a pirate. Is that a great idea or what? Barry wrote back then. There are so many practical benefits, I can't even begin to list them. The endorsement included a full-fledged movement that seemed to grow each year, and here are some ways you can get in on the action. You can actually go on Facebook and switch your language to pirate, and everything will be in pirate. Like, everything on Facebook will be in pirate speak. And, I don't know if I'm going to go that far. But I do like pirate phrases. I like, maritime language. I like to say, I like the cut of his jib. And things like 3 sheets to the wind. Those are things we use all the time.
Shiver me timbers.
Shiver me timbers is a great one. Arr, shiver me timbers. Arr. And I've got this glossary of pirate terms. And some of these are pretty easy. Ahoy is a greeting. Hello. Batten down the hatches. Prepare from an oncoming storm. There's some of them that are less common in our vernacular. Earl, do you know what cackle fruit is?
Cackle fruit.
Bring me.
It's the fruit that cackles.
Well, that's not. You can't use that as a definition. Like if I was to say, "Yar, Earl, bring me a swig of the tasty ale and some cackle fruit," what would you bring me?
Peach.
No, a cackle fruit is hen's eggs. cackle fruit.
Cackle fruit.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a yard bird is a chicken.
If I said something like, "Yea, Earl, ye have offended me. You will dance the hempen jig."
The hemp would be the rope.
Right.
And it's hung from a jig.
That's right. But what does it mean to dance the hempen jig?
They hang you.
Hang ya.
Yeah.
That's right. I'd rather dance the hempen jig than to be keel hauled.
Yeah, you don't want to be keel hauled.
You know what keel hauled is?
So they take you and tie a rope around you.
Yeah.
And then they take and throw you in, and they pull you under the width of the boat. Oh, actually,
Yeah. They drag you around the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
there's
And
all
kills
these-
you.
There's all these barnacles under there.
Barnacles.
Yeah.
Yes. So swab the poop deck. Har, yar, har. So all these things you got to know. You got to know. What's a landlubber? You know what a landlubber
They
is.
love the land.
Yeah, it's a landlubber.
Don't like
I like this one. Get thine tentacles off mine riggets. You know what that one means?
Your fingers off.
Thine tentacles off mine riggets.
I don't know what they're. Rickets are legs because you get the rickets. Right?
No, get thine tentacles off mine riggets.
Oh, riggets.
Means don't touch my junk, man.
Oh, well.
Get your hands away from my crotchin' area, sir. So there you have it. All right, you landlubbers and flibustiers, say freebooters. Dead men tell no tales. I'll see you in Davy Jones's locker. Whatever. All right, Earl's next. I'm back tomorrow at 1. Yarr! It's the Nation of Jake.
Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here.
So what do you think this is? This whistleblower that says he heard Trump